Thank you so much to my CEOs, thank you to the Financial Times, thank you to Thinkers 50, and thank you so much to my viewers around the globe. Love you all. Stay tuned. I invite you to cast a vote for Sandra Rupp, Parthenon Advisors at Thinkers50.com for 2017. And please don't forget to buy my new video on demand and DVD on Amazon.com. It's called Career Navigation, 7 Steps to Success for the 21st Century. I worked in global executive search for many years based in New York. I now live in Florida and I'm an executive coach and a media presenter. I have never met a woman executive who was afraid to have dinner with a male executive. Okay, but I have seen it the other way around. This actually was a really hot topic this week because there was an article in the Washington Post about our vice president. Women who are leaders think, I'm going to conduct business at this meeting. I have never once heard a woman leader say, oh, I can't work with him, he's too handsome. But I have heard a man, a CEO, say, you're too pretty to work with. If you want women to have the same leadership opportunities, you do need to invite them to events and also create events that would be interesting to women. So not necessarily just golf games, but also ballet, opera events, art gallery events. Make it inclusive. That's the key. I was placed on the cover of the Davos debates of selected entrants when I stated that investing in and empowering the feminine leadership style is the largest economic opportunity worldwide. I was soon placed on the Thinkers 50 Guru radar list, and the rest is her story. I call it the yin yang of leadership. Indeed, I love masculine leaders and I want them to stay that way. But I also love feminine leaders, but I need to coach my male CEOs more on what that means. We need to allow women to be invited onto executive row. We don't want to say that they need to be math and science majors or they should have done this or they should have done that. We want to appreciate women for who they are. So we have chief human resources officers, CFOs, heads of legal, chief marketing officers, chief innovation officer positions that we can fill with women leaders. And I truly believe you need to have 30% at a minimum women leaders on your team to make it gender inclusive. I would also encourage you to have diversity beyond that. I've even seen Cisco achieve 50%, so I know there are a lot of CEOs who could achieve it if they just hire an executive coach who has a background in executive search like me. Now, number 3 is a really important one, which is I believe that there should be a lot more latitude on corporate dress codes. Now, some companies have already gotten this, like Google allows people to dress however they want. There are some industries, however, that are more formal in terms of their attire. There are many ways to put yourself together as a woman without wearing a traditional suit. And I think we need to allow women to be feminine, because the more we change the look of leadership, the more we will fill those positions on executive row. And it's kind of a subconscious thing. As long as leadership looks like a man in a suit or, a man in a dark turtleneck, then leadership is very narrow and it actually prevents innovation. So personally, I like dressing like a woman. Now, point number 4 is an interesting one. It's actually about dating in office environments, and this becomes a little bit more problematic, but I think we need to really have 21st century views around this topic, because as you get more senior in business, there are much fewer senior level people, whether you are a CEO, someone on executive row, a management consultant, and so oftentimes you will have to mingle personal and business. So if you are in an established relationship with someone and there is a business opportunity at their company, it may very well come up that you might be in a position to pitch on an opportunity to work for their company on a project. And I was in this position one time for a CEO that I was dating, and he really wanted me to work as an executive coach to his company. And I thought it would be great because I had actually worked with this specific company before, and interestingly enough, the prior CEO, or one of the prior CEOs, had his wife working in the human resources capacity for the company. So the number 2 person, who was a man, did not necessarily like this arrangement, and so I never got the assignment, which actually was during an economic downturn and hurt me economically. And I could probably give you 5 or 6 other examples of women who have been negatively impacted by this kind of old-fashioned thinking. And so I believe that we need to change how we think. Let's face it, 50% of adults in the US are now single. And a long-term dating relationship is similar to a marriage in today's terminology. Because if you truly want to achieve gender parity and you truly want to have innovation and diversity and inclusion in your company, you're going to have to treat women leaders better. And the 5th way that we can make sure that we no longer continue a patriarchy is we must get more women to the major conferences, both in terms of attendees as well as speaking on panels. No panel in the 21st century should be all men. And I've seen way too much of this going on. So I'd invite all of the conference organizers out there to contact me if you do need female speakers. I will find them for you. I'm really good at this. I've worked in executive search for many, many years. I know how to find leadership. I know how to research. I know how to make sure that things happen. So I encourage everyone to have diversity on those speaker panels, even beyond gender, diversity, inclusion. And I think it's so important. So whenever I put together any kind of panel, I did this for my Kellogg MBA 20th reunion. We were the co-chairs, and I said, well, let's expand it to 3 more people and let's include more diversity. So we need to make sure that we get 30% plus women to World Economic Forum. So anyone who would like to work with me on that, please contact me at parthenonadvisors.com. You can read my Davos blog at sandrarupp.wordpress.com. We are up to 21% women. And don't forget to vote at thinkersfifty.com. Love you all.